Hello once again. It's me, Leonard Wells, broadcasting from Haslingden near Manchester in the UK on Monday the 16th of November 2009. Just want to talk a little bit today about communism and capitalism, mostly capitalism. In order to understand the difference between capitalism and communism, you need to appreciate that basically business and trade is dishonest. What do I mean by that? Well, to put it in a nutshell, you can't be totally honest running a successful business. If you try to be totally honest, you go bust. Let me explain. If you sell apples at $1 a pound, or £1 or €1 a kilo, but you quite honestly advertise what you paid for them, let's say 50% of what you're selling them for, you might well get a brick through your window. So you keep quiet about what you paid for them, and you hope nobody notices or finds out. So in actual fact, business or trade is actually based on a lie or a half-truth. That doesn't mean it's bad. It's just necessary. It's just one of the unfortunate things about it. Life on this planet is not perfect, as you know. Where the system breaks down is when companies or shopkeepers or sole traders take advantage and make excessive profits. When I left school back in 1959, I was full of ideals. I joined a firm of solicitors in Warrington as a clerk, dealing largely with probate matters, that is, wills and estates. Now, I have personally a love for efficiency, and after a short while I was able to complete a small estate in less than 6 weeks. So, picture the scene. The widow walks in carrying her husband's death certificate and a number of insurance policies and a bank book, etc. I take the details, I take all the documents. I have all the assets valued at the date of death, complete an affidavit, submit it to the probate court in Liverpool, cash in all the policies and bank accounts and things, put the money into the solicitor's client account and prepare the accounts, all inside 6 weeks. Then, justifiably, proudly, I take the file to the solicitor, whose case it was, only to be told that under no circumstances could we complete an estate in 6 weeks. Why? I wondered. Because, he said, we could not justify our fees for such a short period of time. So he threw the file into a corner where it lay until 4 months had passed since the poor widow walked in. When I reflected on this, I eventually gave up my career in the law. I looked at it this way. Highly educated and quite wealthy men were holding back a poor widow's much needed money, all her worldly goods effectively, in order to feel justified in charging an extortionate fee. As a Christian, I could not stomach this. We have all recently been scandalised by the revelations about the expenses of our MPs. Again, highly educated and privileged men and women taking money under false pretenses. It comes down to the same thing. Robbing your fellow men because of greed. I do not say don't make a profit. You can't do business without one. What I do say is care enough about your customers to take just as much as you need and no more. It's not easy. Last year, the power companies in the UK jacked up their prices by 45% for all kinds of excuses and reasons, promising, they said, to bring them down when conditions permit. Pigs will fly, and we're all still waiting and cursing their greed. Old people shivering at home, while the people at the power companies and their shareholders grow fat and rich and warm. The situation in Russia in 1917 was so bad that people revolted and took control, total control of all industry. Their aim and purpose was basically good, that all men should have enough to eat, a job and a home, and not be exploited. In the USA, the opposite system, almost unregulated capitalism, proved superior for a short time. Communism collapsed in 1989, and today we've all seen the unacceptable side of capitalism in the collapse of the banks. This has shown the weakness of capitalism, and the lack of regulation has allowed corporate greed to run amok. Not for nothing is greed one of the 7 deadly sins. And we have seen banks collapsed and fraudsters put behind bars. Millions are out of work, and hundreds of thousands in the USA have had their homes repossessed. So, the ideal, it seems to me, is somewhere in between. In Britain, you are afraid of illness, but you're not. You're not afraid because you can't afford the doctor. Unlike in the USA, where if you haven't got an insurance policy or a platinum credit card, you don't get your operation because you can't afford it. So really it comes down to loving your neighbour. If you make a killing with huge profits, that is what you are actually doing. Killing your neighbour. Think about it. Think about it. Goodbye for now, and God bless wherever you are.